Hello, everyone. William Fletcher here, and today I want to give you some step by step instructions on how to write a blog post. Let's just talk about the writing process. And writing is much more than typing away on your computer screen, it involves planning, thought, inspiration, research, opinions, and so much more. And some articles more than other. If you want to create high quality content, all of these things are going to need to be considered. And with authority blogging, everything is built on quality content. So you have to nail down the writing process. The first thing to establish is what your article or blog post is going to cover. Now, some of this we talk about today is going to kind of overlap with the perfect blog post formula, but we're going to go into a little bit more detail into the different sections of writing a blog post. So hang with me here. So, if you go through our content creation strategy, you know, this part is going to be out of the way. I mean, you're already going to know what kind of things you want to cover with your blog post. So next, you have to ask yourself, how do you want to present this information? In order to do this, you have to tailor the information to suit its purpose. What is it that you are trying to accomplish with the blog post? What is the best way to deliver that message? Um, you're going to have educational articles, informative articles, promotions, and all these things are going to present it differently. And, it's going to be based on the result that you were trying to achieve with them. And you have to think about the context of the article and what would be the best way to present that. Sometimes a video or an infographic might be a better way to present the content, or a very detailed in-depth tutorial, for example, might work well in video format, as people will be able to follow the steps along with you. Another example might be something you were trying to present that has a lot of statistics. In this case, maybe an infographic along with your article might be extremely valuable to the reader. So you have to think about that. And now I want to talk about the concept that we kind of went into with the formula to the perfect blog post, and that is preparing an outline. So preparing an outline will help you prepare to create quality content that is complete and well thought out. And I find that outlining my blog post is very beneficial to the writing process. Anytime I am writing something, I find that an outline is really beneficial to organizing my ideas and ensuring that I cover everything that I want to cover. First of all, it keeps you focused on the task at hand, and it also makes it easier to get the creative juices flowing, as you have a direction for your article as you write. And another thing is, this outline is going to help you keep your content in a logical order. This will make it easier for you to flow while you write. This will help you create a better user experience, a better blog, and will also help you with your rankings in the search engines. Search engines not only want high quality content, but they want it well organized, and they want it to be structured content. And both of these components are key to a successful blog. So let's actually talk a little bit about organizing your content. To organizing your content, you can use a number of different things, such as subheadings, numbers, and bullets. You can then use that to create bold subject headings and bulleted points throughout your article, and that's going to catch your reader's eye and allow the speed readers to catch the concepts quickly and effectively. And if you do this, your main point with your main points, the readers can get the message that you were trying to get across without reading every single word of your blog post. And once you finish the outline of your blog post, you can start the writing process. Basically, you want to follow the outline and use the information you already know that you have gathered, and just basically fill in the blanks. Make sure that you cover the things thoroughly when you fill in your articles. The internet is constantly spammed with terrible content and bad information. We want to make sure our blog stands out, and we want to really wow the reader. you have to make sure that people won't click on your site, begin reading, go, wow, this is not what I was looking for, and quickly search for that back button. And I can almost guarantee that you've done this many times yourself. The internet makes it so easy that it is almost automatic for people to click the back button. As soon as they catch on to badly written content, off they go. They're on to the next site to gather that piece of information that they came looking for. So now I want to talk about the article layout just a little bit because we covered it in the blog post formula, but we're going to get into some depth here about the different areas. So there are essentially going to be the three major portions of every piece of content that you write. And those major portions are going to be the introduction, the body, and the conclusion, something you've learned since grade school. But the obvious point here is that you always want to start your blog post with a solid introduction. From there, you're going to move on to the body, which will be the meat of the content you produce. And last but certainly not least is the conclusion. You want to leave something with the reader to remember you by. So let's dig into the introduction a little bit. After your title, your introduction is going to be the first thing that your reader sees, and is extremely important. If a reader sees a captivating title, clicks on it, and starts reading the first paragraph, that they're going to find some interesting, relevant content, and that you want them to know they're not going to waste their time reading your article. Now, you'll be lucky if they stick around for another paragraph if you don't nail it with your introduction. So, in the introduction, you have to give them a reason to continue reading your article. In the introduction, you want to let the audience know exactly what you're going to tell them and what they're going to expect to learn from the article. And this is how we will keep the reader interested and make sure that they keep reading your content. People are looking for a good headline that sparks their interest, and if you can follow that up with something that hooks them into reading your article, that's going to be the ticket. And that the key to that is your introduction. The introduction is that tool. So you have to assure your readers that if they're going to spend time reading your blog, that it will be well worth their time and they're going to get what they're coming for. And for the best results with your titles and introduction, it is essential that you express exactly what the reader will be able to take away from your article. So if you do write a good hook in the introduction of your article, it will help reel the audience in to see what you're going to be writing next. So really try to give your article a good hook to catch their attention. And the sad truth is that you could write the most fantastic, the most helpful article ever created and have an average title or an average introduction, and it would never get read. And this is one of the worst things that can happen to some of your best content. So spend a lot of time focusing on creating and fine tuning your titles and introductions and really create something that's going to grab the reader's attention. And, if it is applicable, you want to write something that is borderline or controversial. Or you could even use a famous or entertaining quote that goes along with what you were writing. Give them a nugget of information or a tip of what they will learn, and then jump right into your content. So let's talk about the body of the article. In the body of the article, you want to include all the details about the topic and make sure that you cover all the points that you want to cover and connect with the reader. In the body, you have to include the details that you told the reader you were going to give them in the introduction. And in this stage, you're filling in your outline and really want to make an impression on the reader. In this section of the article, you really have to present the facts and the research you have done and possibly enhance the content with some visuals and statistics. And this is going to help you create a great body for all of your articles. And, as you go through, again, you want to make sure you're covering those who, why, where, and when, and make sure that you're answering all those questions. and giving the reader the exact information that they're looking for. And if you want to see a great example of this kind of stuff, take a look at a magazine or a newspaper or other publication, and you will notice how many journalists use this format as their writing. You can really improve your own writing and skills by reading news articles and other blogs and looking for these types of things. Analyze how top journalists are using them to create content for their publications. You can then apply that to your blog and write articles in a similar fashion that are answering those same exact questions that they do in news publications. And just a little bit about the conclusion here. In the conclusion, you want to summarize the article, restate your main points, and the reader should have uh, a takeaway from the article you have written. So make sure they know what that takeaway is. And since this is the last impression you get to make on your readers, you want to make sure that you truly go out in style. Make sure that they feel that your content was worth their time. And, if you made a great impression on them, they're going to follow your call to action. They're going to sign up to your newsletter. They might share your content. They might check out your products. They might buy your products, and that's what we're going for.